What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Cooperators Viewers Couch. Today, I'm joined by Carmen and, of course, by Gabe, my ever-companion on the Cooperators Viewers Couch, and we are going to be going through one of these guys' favorite movie franchises. That's right, everyone, it is Ghostbusters time. Who's excited?
Hey.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm located all the way
Yo.
up here. You can't do that one either, though. We can't do that one.
Oh yeah, that's in the second. Fuck yeah.
Guys.
Okay, I'm all the way over here, located in Spook Central.
Sorry, Ben. I'm terrified beyond rational thought right now.
If you didn't know, on the Cooperators Viewers Couch, each and every week, we go through a franchise that we love and we talk about it from top to bottom. That includes the plot, that's our thoughts, that's some random ass facts, as well as something here and there. Carmen's usually pretty inappropriate, so hopefully the stream doesn't get flagged. And yeah.
What do I have to say to get it flagged?
I don't know. Probably not that much.
You want to find it?
Oh, jeez, I don't want to find out. You can catch us wherever you listen to your podcast, as well as live on Twitch at twitch.tv/theco_operators. Other than that, you can catch us on social media, but I will get into that later. Guys, let's hear some initial thoughts. Or do we start with the plot now? I think we changed things up.
Is everyone getting this?
Yeah?
Is everyone getting this? No, that's the line from the movie.
Oh, jeez. Gabe, I don't know this movie that well.
You never studied.
I only studied so much. Yeah, I think...
See, my quotes are contextual and actually make sense.
Exactly. Come on, Gabe, get on his level.
Mine.
Okay,
right.
so I think that in the summer we change things up. So we start with the plot and then we get into our thoughts instead of doing the other way around. So, Carmen, can you put 2 minutes on the clock?
Yeah. This is a grave plot.
Oh, nice. Gabe, are you ready? Are you ready to talk?
I'm as ready as I'm gonna be.
Are you ready? 2 minutes. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
This movie is about believing in the paranormal and paranormal phenomenon that happen in the city of New York. We open to these university profs who are getting kicked out of their department because no one believes in what they do. They decide to go into the private sector business based on their recent findings of something spooky, and they develop equipment and to ensnare and then entrapped ghosts and other paranormal phenomenon. Enter their newest client, who is Dana Barrett, who is experiencing weird things that are going on in her apartment. It gets more and more spooky. Ghostbusters start to enter into their business. They establish their business. They create busting ghosts. They start to become a bit of a phenomenon themselves, pun intended. And Larry King talks about them. They go to Chinatown. They also, dance with the ghouls and goblins with Casey Kasem.
No, they bust the. Oh, sorry, continue.
They go back. They go back to the countdown. So, and then back with Dana Barrett and her first case, because that's their first customer. Her house gets more and more haunted. Things get really scary. Stuff happens where she gets possessed or taken by something. Then her neighbor Louis Tully also gets possessed or taken by something. And then the Ghostbusters are left to save the city because the mayor's like, Ghostbusters, we need you. Oh, their containment unit blows up somewhere in there. The bad guys in this movie are the Environmental Protection Agency, which is messed up. They save the day at the end of it all. And there's a giant marshmallow man at the end of it. Oh, and one other thing. I love this town.
All right, that's pretty good. Yeah,
that's good enough. All right, if you have not watched this movie before, I'm not sure if that plot summary really would tell you exactly what happened, but there's lots of ghosts.
The Larry King plot point is very important. It's important that you mention that plot point. And, forget about the fact that, the building that they live in was, attracts, supernatural energy or anything. Larry King and them dancing at a nightclub is important to the plot. You don't even see that scene.
Yeah, I know. It just talks about it.
But you want to see it. You want to see it.
Yeah, for sure.
Want to see it all.
So obviously you guys have seen this movie a lot in your history. I actually have not. I think this is the first time I've watched it from start to finish while sober. Yeah, but I mean, all in all, I liked it. I thought it was entertaining. It was definitely a ride. I'm not sure how much this really holds up now. Maybe just because I don't have the same kind of nostalgia as other people might, but I feel like it definitely shows its time period, both within graphics as well as a lot of like the humor and the effects, everything in between. But all in all, I had a lot of fun with Ghostbusters. I think that it tried to be somewhat horror-y, but while still staying in comedy. I think from the horror part, it kind of comes just from the end, really. The end kind of does get freaky a little bit, but yeah, all in all, definitely a good ride. I would definitely say watch it. And that'll just be my initial thoughts. We'll get into some more stuff later. How about you guys? How about you, Carmen? What's your experience with Ghostbusters?
It's pretty fun. I've watched it many times while drunk and sober. And yeah, I mean, like Gabe kind of got me excited about it in the first place. Yeah, there's tons of quotable lines in it, pretty ridiculous. I think that like the effects and stuff were really good for the time, and they're still really fun. Like my favorite thing about it is just like these guys, like Dan Aykroyd, I think knows a lot about paranormal, like or like I don't know the occult and all that, and also I guess about like physics and stuff like that. And so like I think combining those two things is super fun. And so like all the technobabble and stuff that they have in it, it's like gibberish, but it sounds sciencey, so it kind of lends some credibility to it. So it's pretty fun for that reason. And then it's just like these guys using this equipment that barely works and could kill them at any point. It's it's very silly.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
How about you, Gabe?
Yeah.
What's your history with Ghostbusters?
Yeah, I think it's one that I've seen a lot. I don't know how many times, but more than double digits, more than double digits for sure. For me, I think the interesting thing about this film is that like recently there's been this there was this really good quote by Bill Hader talking about comedy evolving, and so that it's I'm paraphrasing, but it's something along the lines of like comedy, it evolves to a higher standard as society evolves to a higher standard. And I think good comedy transcends the standards. It's able to kind of like continuously go with things that are happening. So I guess like comedy evolves just like any other medium, right? It changes a lot. And I find with this film, not all, but some parts of this film age so well with the comedy of now. And there's of it that just frankly they don't. And watching it again, I'm like, oh yeah, like even like just plot points too. Like as I said in the recap, like the bad guys in this film are the Environmental Protection Agency, but at that point in the 80s, government was the bad guy. Government, like there was a lot of push in the media and in the medium in that time for a lot of bad guys in films in that period where government were bad. And I'm not saying it was, fast forward to 2020 and look at where we're at now. I think films play an interesting cultural touchstone to a lot of where we're at now. And you can't help but like, I think you'd be silly to not say, ooh, it played a little bit of a part in where we're at now. And I do agree with that. I think it played a bit of a part. Does it play a huge part? That's the larger conversation that's out of my pay grade. But it's kind of like, it's the video game argument, right? Like video games make people violent. Well, no, it's the medium, maybe a little bit, and so it's a larger conversation to have. But overall, it's as Carmen said, it's a fun movie to see, and I think if you see it through the lens of like, yes, these are the things that people joked about, and it wasn't okay, but there's other bits in here that are actually quite good. And with the quote, Harold Ramis is saying, the point of a Ghostbuster is that it didn't matter if you were a man or a woman, black or white. It's that anyone could put the proton pack on and be a Ghostbuster. And that was the point of what he wanted to do with that film. And I thought there are parts where I really feel that, where I felt like I could put on the proton pack and catch a ghost. And so my friends, that's the other thing too, with your friends, I think is something along those lines. But again, I can't, it's been a while since I've read that quote that he did. But yeah. Anywho, back to you.
Yeah, like I said, this is like probably my first time all the way through. I mean, I'm sure as like a kid I probably watched Ghostbusters. Like it was probably either on TV or my parents put it on. But I think that it had such a great cast. Like I know that they were supposed, like some people like turned it down that might have made it like just as good. Like Eddie Murphy was offered a role in it originally, which could have been hilarious. But I think they chose such good people for it that it really brought it up to like that next level. I mean, Dan Aykroyd is obviously great. He wrote a great script, and I know that it changed drastically from the first one, where there was supposed to be like time travelers who hunted down ghosts in space, to being what it is today. But like, just all four of them were so well put together as characters, and they play so well off each other, and they are so different, which really gives it like that next level, right? Like, oh god, I'm gonna get all their names wrong, but Venkman is like that ladies' man who doesn't really seem to care about as much of the science. He's just kind of it seems like he's more in it for the money and the women. We got Ray, who's like not quite as much of he's different as well, but he's not so much like Egon, but he's like almost there. But he's really just excited about everything that's happening around him. I got Egon, who's like the real scientist, and then oh god, what's the last guy's name? I always forget. Winston, who's like kind of just there to because he needed a job, and he's like, this isn't worth the, what is it, 11.5 a year. So I think that like they all played so well off each other, and like all four of those very different personalities really played to a lot of the comedy, right? I mean, like I said before, like my favorite line in this entire movie is the Ray, when someone asks you if you're God, you say yes. Like that one line just always makes me laugh because it's so hilarious, and it's used in so much pop culture too, right? Like I think I first heard that line on How I Met Your Mother. So this movie really is such an iconic cult classic that it really makes you interested no matter what. Even if like maybe you don't like all the humor, or you don't like the darker sides, or you wish that there was more guy from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Rick Moranis.
Yeah, Rick Moranis. Oh, so good. I can't really see him outside of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, though. Whenever I see him, I'm just like, man, you just get in the worst situations all the time. First gets shrunk, and now he's like turns into like this weird demon dog thing. But yeah,
Who does your taxes?
Yeah,
that's the important question. Who does his taxes?
Yeah.
I think he does his own.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I mean, with TurboTax these days, it's very easy. Now, TurboTax is it's very. Wait,
Jeez, no,
can you cut to the advertisement now?
We're not. Cut it. We're not sponsored.
Do you edit that part in? I don't know how it works. Why are you guys drinking?
Water.
What do you?
Water.
But yeah, so I think it's just like, it's such a cult classic, and again, like I said, I think that parts of it definitely don't age well or age as well. One, the diversity is not really there. There's a lot of white people in this movie.
You know what though, Ben? It was the 80s.
I know.
Women were much cleaner.
Okay, that was as good as it was gonna get. They went to Chinatown. They had one person of color in the cast. That's all you need. One woman. That's it. We're done. Quota met. Thanks, boys.
I'm so glad things have changed since then. But yeah, like it just, I wish that, I mean, obviously it was a product of its time when it came to casting. I think nowadays, I don't even know if nowadays it would change that much, because, you know,
yeah, I think
Hollywood's still kind of fucked up, but
I think you're totally onto something with how casting kind of worked out, because I mean, and also sadly how it worked out too, because Jim Belushi was supposed to be, or John Belushi, John
Belushi
was supposed to be playing
Thank
Okay, what was that popular show? According to John? No. He's dead. Sorry.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, but yeah, he was supposed to be in it. I think he was. I don't think he was playing Dan Aykroyd's character, but I think he was playing like an extension of maybe Bill Murray's character.
Yeah, he's supposed to be Venkman.
I think he was supposed to do that. He sadly passed away. Then Bill Murray came on because he was coming on just after Stripes,
And SNL.
He was kind of He was kind of like a biggish name, getting bigger name. And then Eddie Murphy to play Ernie Hudson's character, and then that just didn't work out. It's so fascinating. Just some things didn't work out, but then some things really did work out quite well.
Yeah.
And Canadian Connection is always interesting too, because you've got Dan Aykroyd, Ivan Reitman, and Rick Moranis, all from all knowing of each other. And I know Harold Ramis and Ivan Reitman worked with each other. I don't know if
I can't remember what I had that fact up somewhere actually. So you keep talking.
But I'm not sure on that. But I don't know if Dan Aykroyd was also the writer with that too. And that's the other thing about this film that's pretty magical too, is it's like kind of everyone's kind of doing their passion of what they wanted to do at that point in their lives. Like later on, Harold Ramis becomes a pretty interesting director and writer in his own right, and before he passes away. And then Dan Aykroyd, I don't know if he wrote anything else or directed anything else afterwards. I'm sure he did. I know he did.
I think he made some vodka.
He had a hand in Ghostbusters 2. I don't know how much of a hand he had in the Ghostbusters Aftermath. I think that's all Jason Reitman.
No,
but I'm not sure.
I think that he has a hand in it as well.
Afterlife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, long story short is, I think, Ben, you're totally spot on with the casting thing. I think it's the same. Also, you have 2 new followers.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I'll mention everybody who follows and subscribes at the end of the episode, so we don't get too derailed by that. But yeah, so it's very interesting. Like kind of the things that they did. I think Bill Murray worked with Dan Aykroyd on SNL, which is I think part of that connection. And then, like you said, there was the other connection. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely a movie that I think I will come back to. Just because there's so many parts that were great. There was a couple things when you were talking that I wanted to bring up. Funny story with Carmen's little comment about Dan Aykroyd and his vodka. I think he does vodka, right? I actually talked to him when I was working with the government for food, for agriculture, and I got to talk to him because we were going to have him come in and be part of a food tour. So that was actually really cool. That was a highlight of that.
That's really cool.
Did you tell him what he should say when someone asks him if he's a god?
No, because I had never watched Ghostbusters at that point in my life.
Why don't you just tell me you don't believe in ghosts?
But it was still very cool because I knew who Dan Aykroyd was.
Well, that's number 2 as well. We're quoting number 2.
But like we were saying, there's obviously not a lot of diversity, but I have to say, the one female character or I guess there's 2 female characters, but the receptionist is hilarious. Every time she talked, I would just laugh because she just had the most hilarious lines, and they were always really quippy. And that's the kind of humor I really love in movies.
And possible.
I'm also into racquetball.
Yeah.
Any possible solid, I guess it's a Manhattan accent? Or is it more Queens?
I don't know. I'm walking here.
I think isn't that... I don't even know what that's supposed to be.
I think the other thing to talk about too, cast as well, is just the way in which the film also, the special effects, I think is really interesting. Because the budget that they had for this film, it wasn't a big budget.
No.
It was on not the smaller scale, but pretty close to smaller scale. I think because it was they gave them the option of can you make this movie this year? And they're yeah. Yeah,
they had a year to do it.
Yeah, they had a year to do it. Because it was there was scheduling issues, I think, with Bill Murray, and there was one other thing too with just the caveat with the money that they got from the producers. And so you got a year. And they're oh, okay, I guess we're gonna film this now.
Yeah.
So The special effects were really interesting, so I liked those a lot.
I thought
Yeah.
that like they were like hard pressed to find like a special effects shop that could do it too, because like the other shops were like working on Star Wars or like other big movies that were coming out or whatever, and so they were like, oh, who can we get to do it?
Yeah,
Was that a thing? I don't know. I can't remember.
I believe
I've watched many YouTube videos on Ghostbusters, and I think all the stories have just mixed up in my head, like they would in the containment unit.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Back off.
Yeah, so with the budget, it's funny because you're right. It wasn't on a bigger side, but originally they had planned it to be a way huger movie. I think that the original script that they wrote would have cost around $300 million to make, and I think they did it for, I want to say around 50 is what I read, but I could be wrong on that. They also didn't think that it was going to be a blockbuster success, which is kind of interesting based on their first screenings. But it became the highest grossing comedy until Home Alone came out. So it was pretty big period there that it was like kind of one of those grossing movies that everyone seemed to love, and it became such a cult classic so fast.
Wait, Home Alone was a comedy?
Yeah.
I thought it was like a horror movie about a sadistic kid who wants to torture a couple of criminals.
Well, that too.
Yeah. Anyway.
Those great movies.
Okay, well, let me try that again.
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
There we go. Yeah, it's a good line.
That's a good line. I also liked how Egon was very like, he did not notice that the secretary was definitely hitting on him.
Didn't he?
I don't think so. I think that.
Oh, he was.
Oh, really?
I don't know about you guys, but I think, to me, I think this is a pickup line.
I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
I mean,
is that how you
I've used
get
that
the ladies?
that's. I tell you what. I'm gonna try that. I'll try that tonight. We'll see how that goes.
Ugh.
I'm gonna say, hey, I collect spores, molds, and fungus, and we're gonna see how much leverage I get.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no! Don't look at me like that. I know that look.
Oh God.
Yeah, all right.
I hope you never use that as a pickup line, Carmen, because they're just gonna think that you have spores of fungus on you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Are you saying you have STIs?
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm just quoting Ghostbusters, but oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yes, it's true, Your Honor.
Yes.
No,
That's a great line.
Yeah.
that is really good.
My favorite line? I don't know. Up there.
Up
There's
there?
a lot of good lines.
Oh, that one. Okay. I was like, I thought you were going to say your favorite line, and then you said up there. I was like, that's a terrible line, Carmen. I don't think that was even the
no,
movie.
sorry. I don't know whether it's my favorite line of all the lines in the movie. There's a lot of good ones.
Sorry.
What?
I meant to use that one for later. But actually, there is something I do want to talk about. I want to talk about how maybe you guys didn't feel like this. Maybe something we should ask the viewers as well. Which character did you align yourself with the most? Because for me, I felt like I was Louis Tully. And if you don't believe me, listen to this.
Okay, so I'll see you later, huh? I'll give you a call.
Like that's me.
What, are you from Ontario?
Yeah.
Lock myself out of my own apartment.
Lock yourself out of your own apartment and talk about the brie. The brie's at a room temperature. Should be good.
Yeah.
And-
Hey, it's,
Oh, God. He's the best kind of awkward in this.
cute little pooch.
Oh, jeez.
Like how he's at that party and like that bombshell blonde walks up to him and then she's like, I'm leaving, and he's like, well, maybe if we dance, and she's like, okay, and then like immediately starts dancing with him, and he's just like, oh sweet, yeah, what's going on, and just like drops it, and it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, you have to answer the door. He's the host.
Yeah, I guess so.
Gotta be a good host for the party. So, one part that I really want to get into is like the final area with like Zool and like the upstairs area, as well as obviously the Puff. What's his name?
Puff.
Yeah. I think that was some of the most impressive stuff in this entire movie. Like the proton packs were good, like the animation and stuff, but like her whole look, or the whole look of Zool, I thought was so awesome. Like, and it's so 80s. She almost looked like a hair rocker, like in Labyrinth. Just
would you say that she kind of looks like, oh, I don't know, a certain pop singer?
I wasn't gonna say anything, but
What
Like-
is it, Life on Mars or something, or what?
Or maybe baby, oh, I don't know.
oh, you think?
Oh
You
shit!
think?
I'm talking about Gozer.
Yes, goes with
I'm
the
talking about. I'm talking about. Are you talking about? Wait, are you talking about?
I was talking about Zool, and
Dana Barrett. Oh, you're talking about Gozer.
yeah,
I'm talking about Zool.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were talking about Dana Barrett and her look.
Oh no, Dana Barrett's look. Wait, Dana. Oh, is Dana Zool?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's
Yeah.
Zool. My
She's
bad.
possessed.
Oh, I was talking about Gozer. My
Yeah,
bad,
okay, I
guy.
got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's Justin Bieber, straight up.
yeah. But yeah, I thought like it was such a good look because it's like it's not usually what you would expect a god to look like even like a weird demony god. Like I guess the eyes and stuff, but like comes out weird outfit, very 80s like pop singer, whatever, however you want to do it, but obviously like exuded power, which was awesome. And then the sweet ass oh, what were they, demon dogs, I guess it's the closest thing to it. Like I thought those were really well animated throughout it. I mean, there was definitely some jelly moments, but for the most part I thought they were probably the best animated thing in the entire movie, except maybe the marshmallow puff man.
Cool.
Because I thought like there's one scene that I actually had to pause it because I was laughing so hard, was when they're crossing the streams to get Zool. He's like in the background and the face on the marshmallow man is just the best thing ever. Just like
Oh no.
and it's just like it pauses too, like because he's moving until then, and then as soon as they do that he just stops in this like really weird face, and I lost it and I had to pause the movie because I was like, I can't miss anything, and it was just so amazing. If you're watching this and you want to see it, it's near the very end when they're like crossing the streams. Just go in there and pause and look at the marshmallow man in the background before he explodes. It is the most amazing thing I think I've seen in a movie in a long time.
Should I pull up a still of that, or like?
Yeah, if you can.
Am I
maybe
able to share my screen?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Let's see.
Actually, I don't know if I could bring it up either.
Well, while you guys are doing that, I think the other thing to talk about too, which is so funny and I guess so 80s, or just really that how the movie industry still continues to be sometimes, is the film was like geared towards, what was the rating of it? It was like PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think it's like it wasn't like, I don't think it was rated R. I really don't
No.
think it was rated R.
Here, I can bring that up. You keep
But I'm
talking.
pretty sure it was like, it must have been PG-18 or PG-13. Sorry.
Here.
Yeah, it's PG. It was rated PG-13. So, with that in mind, after the film was released, they had the huge marketing campaign with like action figures, the cartoon show, and basically.
Can you see this?
No,
Look on my-
so no, we can only see the camera because of the way that I've got it set up here. I can actually probably bring it up though. It's just here. Let me just bring it up. You keep talking, and I'll get the marshmallow man face.
Anywho, all I was saying with that was like, to me, it's just so funny because it wasn't really. I don't think they initially wanted it to be for children, but then it just, that was the market, and so you have a lot of young people or children, I guess, in the 80s and the 90s subsequently, because you know the TV show gets pretty. And and yeah, it's just funny, just like how you have a lot of people now who are in there, like maybe, I mean, really all ages now, but like it's just so funny how like some things like that get geared towards children. And
Yeah.
it's like cool. Yeah, and then like soundtrack, Chef Boyardee cereal, freaking
What?
Wait,
Chef
what?
Boyardee cereal.
Chef
Do you
The-
know that?
Chef
No.
Boyardee doesn't have a cereal.
Sorry, Chef Boyardee Ghostbusters noodle.
Oh right. Okay, gotcha.
Here we go.
Right.
I think everyone should be able to see it now.
Okay.
So that's the face in the background. It still makes me laugh.
Am I doing it?
Okay, well, I'll just get rid of that.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think it's just like, the funness of like being able to catch ghosts and stuff. Cause like, maybe as a kid, you're kind of like afraid of ghosts and you're like, oh, like I mean, especially as a kid, you don't know how the world works and you don't know what's possible and like what the limits of reality and fantasy are. And so sometimes those lines can blur because it's kind of like, there's so much you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And as you become an adult, you kind of like be like, okay, yeah, I kind of know how things work. Like the dark becomes a less scary place because the worst thing that's going to be there is like a spider or something like that, right?
Also, that you're not alone. That you're not alone either, right? I think that's the other thing, is that you're doing it with other people, and like it's this whole thing of like no one believes you, but now people are believing you, and who are you gonna call? So it's like that. It makes sense in that respect too.
Mm-hmm.
My bad. It wasn't Chef Boyardee. It was Heinz. Heinz and the real Ghostbusters pasta shapes in tomato sauce, so it's like ghosts.
Yeah, so don't get mad at me for being like, oh yeah, it was Chef Boyardee cereal.
Chef
A, it wasn't Chef
cereal.
Boyardee, B, it wasn't cereal.
I'm pretty sure there was Ghostbusters cereal.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Probably, yeah.
Like it's probably like a Lucky Charms or something. Like get some ghosts in there.
Yeah, there was just so much, I think, for everything about it. And like even today it still continues. Like it's a huge cultural phenomenon. Like people still talk about it now. And people like there's the game.
Yeah.
And it got re-released on the PlayStation 4.
Speaking of the game, Cooperators are also doing a platinum run on that right now. Most days.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I've been doing that for a couple times.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty good, but yep. Sorry to derail you there, Gabe.
No, it's also one of the things I will say. It's too bad because I think they really missed the mark on that game. Because, well, no, not they. I would say PlayStation missed the mark on that game because they should have enabled the multiplayer function on it, because that was one of the best, at least in my opinion, underrated things to do, is to play that game and capture ghosts with other people. And I really like that. Like, I don't know if you remember doing that, but when I had it on Xbox, we played it, and you could do multiplayer and capture as many ghosts as you could. It was like a survival mode thing.
Yeah, so and it was good. Cool. I mean,
and the game itself, the people who made that game, I think it was what's the company that made that?
Jeez, I don't know.
But they did a fabulous job on it, and the storyline is so good too because it syncs with the first two.
Yeah,
it's like the bridge between what would have been maybe a third film.
Yeah, well, it does help that it was written by, or I think it was co-written with the writers of the movies, like Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis. Yeah,
and to get the original cast to do the voiceover work for it, it's just super cool. It was very cool.
Yeah, I think there's obviously some problems with it that eventually I'll be going into on the Pursuit of Platinum podcast, but it's really fun, and I know what you mean about like the multiplayer stuff, but it also means that you need somebody to play multiplayer with, and at this point it's a little bit hard because the whole pandemic thing. So I'm not super upset that there isn't that right now. But yeah, no, I think that they did a good job with like that. I think they've really made this into such a well-known and like culturally significant movie. I also checked, it had a budget of 30 million, 30 to 40, so it was very, very small compared to what they wanted it to be.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm trying to think about what was big at that point. I don't know. Like, it's like peanuts compared to what...
And you gotta, like, I mean, they made, 300 million on the actual movie, but, I mean, a lot of the money that I'm sure came out of this was from merchandising, right?
Oh.
Like you said before, like, it's been everywhere. It's TV, there's a cartoon, or 2 cartoons? I think there's 2 cartoons. Couple movies. They're making a new one because, again, it's just so popular and they don't know what to do, so they just remake stuff or make new things of old stuff. But yeah, I think it's just a fun ride. And like Carmen said, I think that just people going around busting ghosts and like having someone to call, like you said, like just having that, like if that were real, like if this were all real, that if there was a ghost, you know who to go. Plus
I was actually trying to make a profound point earlier before I got cut off.
Oh,
Gabe.
All right, you continue the profaneness.
this is true. This man has no respect for me talking. I was gonna say, if you're like, it's similar to the Jaeger in Pacific Rim, where it's like, when you're a kid and there's like something scary, all you do is, or there's a hurricane, all you have to do is run and hide. But when you're in a Jaeger, you can fight that hurricane. It's the same thing with the proton pack. It's like, oh, the things of the night that scare you or whatever, fuck them. Zap them with a goddamn proton beam from a mini nuclear accelerator. Then they'll see how they like it, right? It's like this, like, it's super fun to think about that sort of protectiveness against an entity that is only in your mind.
Mm-hmm. And then as an adult, you realize that they have like nuclear packs on their backs, so they're probably all getting cancer.
Yeah, it becomes even funnier as an adult.
The proton pack is not a toy.
No.
That's spoilers.
Yeah, and I like that, like, at the end, like, the thing that saved the day was the thing that they told everyone not to do, and that, like, they were willing to, like, sacrifice themselves to, like, beat the big bad, showing that, like, you think, like...
I didn't realize that was a joke until way later, where it's like this massive explosion at the top of this building, like the most giant explosion ever. And then they're all like, "Hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm totally good. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm good." They all like sound off like that, and just like, what? How did you survive this?
Yeah, as well as like the marshmallow man exploding everywhere. Fun fact with that: 22 kilograms of shaving cream was used, and that was what the explosion of him was. 22 kilograms of shaving cream. That is a lot of fucking shaving cream, because that stuff's light.
I heard they wanted to use more than that, but then they like used it on like the stunt double for Walter Peck, and then like it like knocked him to the ground and like might have injured him. And then the guy was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that much."
Yeah.
So then they used less.
Actually, I might have read that wrong. It might have been 22 kilograms were used just on him. Let's see.
Oh man, I can just see that. No, not doing that again. God damn.
Yeah.
All right. It was really shaving cream. Oh, here we go. Collected 500 gallons. 500-gallon batches of shaving cream to substitute for the remnants of Mr. Stay Puffed. Damn. So they tested the idea on a stuntman only using 75 pounds, and it knocked him to the ground. The stuntman was okay, and another smaller batch was collected to dump on Atherton for the final take of the film. 500 gallons.
Verified.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's a lot of shaving cream. That's how much I use my back every week.
What is going on with that back? Go to a waxer. God damn.
So
But yeah.
we talked about some of our favorite scenes. Is there any other favorite scenes that you guys have in this film? Like, for me, it's the whole movie. It's hard to kind of be like, that scene's so funny, that scene's so good.
Yeah.
I watched the Slimer scene like tons of times. Like the whole hotel. Like, I mean, when they first meet Slimer, it's hilarious. And then when they bust him, it's like that's like the first time you see them using the equipment, so it's super cool. I mean, that is Ghostbusters for me.
I feel so fun.
What's always funny is that Slimer is such, like, again, a very iconic character. And having only seen this movie, I guess I saw the remake too, but having only seen this, why is he in every piece of advertisement and everything? Does he come back in the second one?
Yes.
Okay, that's all the spoilers I need for that. But
the only thing I would say about that is, I think whoever did the marketing campaign for Slimer is a genius, because total sub character that just like
blew up.
It changes to Slimer and the real Ghostbusters. Like, genius.
Yeah, because again, like, he was in this movie for what, all of 2 minutes, maybe 3, and like all I can think of, like, when I think of Ghostbusters, I think of the 4 guys. I think of the symbol, so the ghost with the cross, which was actually created by one of the producers of the movie, which is kind of cool. And then I think of Slimer. And I was watching it, I was like, wait a minute, I thought he, like, helped them or something. In the cartoon, I think he's, like, their friend, or not kind of maybe friend or something. But he's, like, he just gets busted super fast. So
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
yeah, I think I think my favorite scene is definitely the end. I think like the fight with Zool, and it is Zool that they fight, right? I'm not saying the wrong thing.
Gozer is the Stay Puft, or becomes Stay Puft.
Okay, so, but the
Zool is one of the terror dogs.
okay.
Squartho. I think. I don't know. Some nerd told me that once.
Okay. Was it you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Says the guy wearing the flight suit.
Yeah, then with Gozer and like him exploding, and like it's such a great scene. But I mean, the movie just all in all was so entertaining from start to finish. I think there was like maybe one part in the middle that dragged a bit, that I found myself kind of wavering, and I think that it's in between her meeting Venkman and them going to the next major action scene. I think there's just this part in there that seemed really slow, and there wasn't a lot of comedy, and there wasn't like a lot of like driving anything forward, and it just kind of felt like they probably could have taken out like 10 minutes there and been fine.
Speaking of
just be
her
me.
meeting Venkman, that is probably one of my favorite scenes too. Like when he checks out her apartment and he's going through like all of her stuff, and it's just like, and then she's like, "You don't act like a scientist. You're like a game show host." Like that's like the best line. And like he's got like that gear, like a thing, he has no idea what it is, and it's like, you know, it's like early on in Ghostbusters, but before the other guys have told him, "Oh, here's how you bust ghosts," and he's just like, "I don't know, like I'll pretend that." He doesn't believe any of this stuff really. He doesn't care.
Or like,
Woke up when he finds out how much it costs. He's like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Or when she's like, "Well, do you want to look in the fridge?" And he's like, "Oh, that's a good idea. I should probably do that." So that's where the door was. And then the first thing he's like, "Man, you have a lot of junk food."
Yeah. Oh my God. Look at all the junk food. Yeah.
What?
It's good.
No, that wasn't there.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great movie.
Yep.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we start the wrap
The
up?
only thing I need to say is that we have the tools. Oh,
Good, tell
okay.
him.
Yep. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, sorry. Was I supposed to finish that? I wasn't sure if you were going to say both. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
It's Miller time.
Actually, I guess we didn't really talk about what was his last name? It was like Dick or Johnson or the bad guy. Peck. We didn't really talk much about him. I thought another great scene was when they were downstairs and they were like fighting over like if they should turn the power off. And when the electrician is so unsure about it.
Yeah.
But like it's that moment that you really see like a character and you're just like, man, you are just such a big tool. I really hope that something bad happens to you kind of moment. And as he was gonna go turn off the power, like the Ghostbusters start sneaking away with the secretary. They're just like, we know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Was he wrong?
To let the ghost go?
I don't think the Environmental Protection Agency was wrong.
I think they might have been.
To take it to where it needed to go, I don't think they were wrong. All they wanted to do was look at it. They just wanted to look at the containment unit. They just wanted to make sure that everything was going according to the Environmental Protection Agency guidelines. And Bill Murray was like, "Fuck you. We're not going to do it."
Yeah, but at the same time, he to look at it, he had to turn it off, which let everything go.
Ben's argument is, but at the same time, he wasn't Bill Murray, and so
yeah,
jog on.
Jog on.
That's true. But I don't think he was
and he was a big tool, so I mean, like...
Yeah. No, I agree. It's so funny, because if you think about it, like, when I watched it for the first time, I'm being like, man, what a dick. Like, government sucks. And then, now I look at him like, wait a minute. All they wanted to do was just make sure they weren't destroying the environment. Oh, no.
And inspecting the thing. Might have been something that they should have considered before they started shoving ghosts in there.
Oh, busting makes me feel good.
Oh, actually, one other scene that I wanted to just briefly touch on was near the beginning when they first get fired. And they're talking, Ray's talking to Venkman outside of, I think, the university when they're drinking. And Ray's just like, I've worked in the public sector before. They expect results. The university, we could have just done, I don't know the exact line, but basically we could have just done whatever and never had results and still got paid. They're just like, yeah, that's kind of what university life is. Like, you just come up with theories, and if nothing comes from it, like, you're not going to get thrown out. You're just going to go into the next theory.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a pretty good one. Yeah. That's all I have to talk about for Ghostbusters. Any last words about it before I get into the wrap up?
Jumanji.
It was really cool. It was cool. I like how it set it up for the second one because they didn't even know they were going to do a second one.
Yeah. Carmen, is that you saying that you want to do Jumanji next on this?
No, you said any last words, and I was just trying to quote the guy from Jumanji.
Okay.
The hunter.
Okay. To be fair, though, I would definitely do Jumanji because that movie series are awesome.
That's all right.
Oh, The Rock, man. The Rock. All right, instead we're just going to do Fast and Furious, guys. Vin Diesel and then The Rock. And then Jason Statham? Come on, how can you go wrong with that?
It's Jason Statham. It's all my favorite bald dudes.
Yeah. You're not your favorite bald dude?
That would be a ball power right there.
Oh.
Bald power trio.
The ball power play.
The unholy trinity.
Yeah. The Rock, Carmen, and Jason Statham.
All right. Throw it back to you.
All right.
There.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the Cooperators Viewers Couch for our first live episode. That's right. This is the first time we've ever done this, and I am kind of happy because Carmen's usually very inappropriate, and he kind of let himself. Oh God, no, not again. I had a second. I don't know which one's you. Nope. Yep. All right. Carmen is gone, and he will be let back when he learns how to behave himself.
What? Am I not on a video anymore?
Nope.
But you can still hear me?
Yep.
Choose the form of the destroyer.
Okay, now you're back. You can catch us each and every week either on Twitch at twitch.tv/the_operators or wherever you get your podcasts. That's right, we're on Apple, Google, Spotify. We're really just everywhere. You can also catch us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And the links for those will be in the description of the video when it does release, as well as on the description of the podcast. Other than that, I think that's all the wrap up I have to say. Oh, some exciting things that are coming up. Like I said, the Cooperators Viewers Couch Pursuit of Platinum does release every other week. I'm going to be doing a double release next week because I just was too headachy this week to finish up the episode. So I will be releasing 2 next week, and that will be Ratchet and Clank as well as Genamaro. Other than that, I'm going to be doing a guest spot on the Every Pokemon Episode podcast. I think that comes up in just a couple weeks where I will be recording. Carmen is going super meta over here, and other than that, you can catch me going through games on Twitch most days of the week. I think this week I did Monday, Wednesday. I'm doing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But you can see those schedules on our social media pages. Other than that, like always, at the end of our episodes, we have to have Gabe over here with the question of the day.
Okay. I've been thinking about this question for a while. And it goes like this. Who cleaned up the mess at the end of the movie?
That's actually a really good question.
Who cleans up all that mess? Who fixes all the road work? Followed by number 2. Number 2 question. Do they rebuild that building? That's what I want to know.
You'd have to assume they would, right? Because that's like a old ass building. Like, that seems like a landmarky kind of building.
And then I'd like to know, does that hotel still take clients and customers even after those ghosts? That's what I want. These are the things that I would like to know. And did they go back to the library
Man, that's a lot of questions.
Get that ghost.
I would say the first one's very interesting. I don't know who would clean it up. I guess the city would, right? Like they'd have to hire like a bunch of like contractors to clean all that shit up, or else they just send a bunch of kids in there so they can eat it, cause it's all marshmallow. They just send a bunch of crazy kids in there.
Just,
like,
it's New York.
that too.
Oh no.
I guess it's like thinking about like in a Marvel movie, like after like they destroy an entire city, like who cleans all that stuff up?
Oh, yeah, Michael Keaton will fix it up.
Yeah.
As Beetlejuice.
Before it gets taken over, right?
Yeah.
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 Oh wait,
Before it
Michael
mulches
Keaton was
the crap of the
Beetlejuice?
city.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
another movie I would actually never seen from start to finish.
They should call it Ghost Couple. Beetlejuice is in it for like 10 minutes.
That's true.
10 glorious minutes,
Well-
but you know.
Is he only in it for 10 minutes? What the heck? Why is it called Beetlejuice
Yeah.
then?
Yeah, it should be called Ghost Couple.
Or whatever
Yeah.
the girl's name is.
Okay.
Gina Davis.
Yeah, they really should just call it Hey Senora. Sweet. Well, that will do it for us today, everybody. Thank you all for those who joined us live, and thank you for the people who will watch it later or listen to it on podcasting platforms. And we will see you next week with Ghostbusters 2. Is there a subtitle to Ghostbusters 2 or is it just called Ghostbusters 2? Then we will be back next week with Ghostbusters 2.
SOS Phantom. Dos. I mean, duh.
Okay. All right.